Wait, look at this. Ever wanted this? The most sought after capstan in Sea of Thieves for some reason. The Obsidian capstan. Well, now's your chance. Starting December 6th, this Friday, gifting 2 subs to a streamer, such as myself, playing Sea of Thieves, will earn you the Celestial Steed ship set, but gifting 3 subs will earn you that ship set and the Obsidian capstan. This is also a great incentive for a charity event, so anyone who gifts subs for either this capstan or the ship set on my channel, I will be gifting all that revenue to a charity, which will soon be announced, so get yourself this ship set and that elusive capstan, and get that warm fuzzy feeling of helping a charity too. So, Lonely Isle. It's pretty lonely here, apart from these rats, of course. When did these get here? Is this supposed to be here? It's not the first time we've seen lurking rats on islands, but the difference is this time, they're not pictures on Twitter, and they don't have green eyes. So don't worry, LeChuck is not coming back, I think, but thought I'd mention this as it's a bit odd. What purpose do these serve? But wait, these aren't sea monsters! You want sea monsters! Engage Explorer music. Sharkbait Cove. Ironically, Sharkbait Cove was my very first speculation video when I talked about the wall paintings. And here I am, back again, but I'm not the only person who's been starved of any kind of narrative for years on end. Merrick is also here. For any new players, quick backstory about Merrick. Merrick was here in the game's first update to fight the first Meg, then he disappeared. Then he came back with a Hunter's Call update, then Golden Sands blew up, so he said, let's save it, and it blew up anyway and we got Port Merrick. Then he got shanked, died, got captured by the Dark Brethren, which wanted to know something, a secret, this was never explained. Then we went to save him in a TDM arena, but he stayed as a ghost, so he could evade the Dark Brethren's pursuit. And now he's stood on a shoreline and everyone's talking about it. Good job, Merrick. But it's interesting he's now returned, in the very spot it all started, shortly after the developers have been teasing an update to the Hunter's Call. But Merrick is uneasy, talking about rowboats that have gone missing, and strange roars coming from the ocean floor, which is pretty similar to what he was saying all the way back in the game's first update, minus the rowboats of course. He also mentions hiding from the Dark Brethren and Flameheart as he's essentially a fugitive of both factions. Understandable, so he decides to stand as a glow stick on the shoreline for 3 months. But this is honestly great. We haven't really seen anything like this in the longest time. Let's just ignore the whole Tasha thing though. I think the community has very much deemed that's not part of the lore at this point, but Merrick's re-emergence and talk of strange noises and sightings really has people a little more pumped than some woman who's crap at drawing losing her arm and getting it back with the power of friendship. But as I was making this video, I started to think, well, there's not much else to talk on about this subject really. It's just Merrick stood here being typical Merrick. But then the mention of the roars got me intrigued. Could he be talking about the roars that occur and have been occurring every night around 3 AM game time? We've always presumed them to be the Kraken roaring, but it could very easily be something else. But before I start getting people too excited, it was revealed that the new encounters that would come with a Hunter's Call update would be an expansion on what we already have. So that would mean either the Kraken, or a new Kraken, or a new type of Megalodon. It is very possible that the Kraken could emerge as a new world event or be expanded upon in some way, as the developers have discussed this over the years. But because it's Merrick, I think it'd more likely be another Megalodon encounter. And just when I was thinking, oh, that's cool, anyway, the penny suddenly dropped, and I remembered something. Engage Explorer music! Oh wait, I could have just dived here.
You'll be able to dive straight to it.
Captain Morrow, Morrow's Peak, named as such due to her and her crew beaching their ship here, the Shroudbreaker. But Captain Morrow was flung into the water at the point of calamity, and although her dialogue has been stripped down since the Forsaken Shores update, she still talks of a shark that she names Redmore, and that she almost ended up in its belly. Now, that's not much to go on, I know, but shortly after the Forsaken Shores update that added this, delightful biome, another update arose, known as Shrouded Spoils. This was essentially essentially a massive quality of life update that added roaming skeleton ships with loot aboard, ambient fog encounters, and roaming megalodons of different varieties. Now, I cannot find the VOD for this because this is many years ago, but during this time I was invited to a Sea of Thieves livestream, where me and the devs sailed the ocean and talked about everything concerning the expansion. Now, back before this update was out, Captain Morrow expanded a little more on her encounter with this Red Maw, saying that she will never forget his glowing eyes and how terrifying he was. And this dialogue was axed, strangely, in the Shrouded Spoils update. So I asked the developers about Red Maw, and the response was, it was intended for Red Maw to be a megalodon you encounter in this update, but unfortunately did not make it in. But that doesn't mean we won't see him sometime in the future. Could Red Maw be the new encounter we'll be seeing in this Hunter's Call update? The megalodon that lives in the boiling waters of the Devil's Roar? I guess we'll just have to wait and see, but I'm positive that these pointless rats, the mention of the roars below the waves, roars, Devil's Roar, the missing rowboats, why just rowboats? Rowboats being one of the hallmark experiences that was added in Forsaken Shores, and of course these tarot cards at Port Merrick that now read Waking Below. Are these all connected? Well, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But for the longest time now, things are starting to get interesting, and the speculation is starting to come back. But also, directly behind Merrick is a chest, which, interestingly, you can interact with. And when you pick up the chest and look at the floor, you see this. Oh, look! Ah, that's uncanny, because I'm a YouTuber, and you could you could press do you see what I'm trying? Just hit the subscribe button.